Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building. Today we are going to be talking all about the year of the horse and how to really make this year count, how to go all in. And if you're watching this episode on YouTube, you may or may not see that I'm in a new location. I'm filming here because I was not able to film in my office. However, the show must go on, and you guys know I'm always making sure you guys are up to date with episodes. However, I really want to dive into this, and I specifically waited to post this episode after Lunar New Year because if you may or may not have seen on social media, a lot of people have been talking about February 17th, which was yesterday, and the year of the horse and how the Chinese New Year has officially started. And I want to give you guys a quick little deep dive on this and some background info before we actually get into the nitty-gritty of today's episode, because I feel like this is going to be really, really good. But I myself do not know too much history or a lot of facts about the Lunar New Year, but I did a ton of research. I read a bunch of articles, and I want to give you guys some proper information. So the Lunar New Year is basically the new year and an annual holiday all across Asia. It lasts a week according to National Geographic, and it originated in China, but it is now celebrated all around the world. And that is why I've been seeing so much of it on TikTok, because everybody is really excited about it and everyone is talking about it. The Chinese have their own zodiac signs, which rotates around 12 animals, and it's called the 12-year animal cycle. So depending on your birth year, you are tied to a certain zodiac animal. So for me, I was born June 18th, 2002. So my animal is a horse, which actually is crazy because this is the year of the horse, so that being tied to my zodiac sign I think is really crazy, but I think this is going to be a good year for me, fingers crossed. But 2025 was the year of the snake, and if you know snakes, you know how they shed their skin, and they're, it's a rebirth, it's a renewal, and it was all about encouraging people to embrace change and go on these new challenges or journeys. 2026 is the year of the fire horse. So if you know anything about horses, you know that they're fast, they charge at one thing, and they just go after it. So this fire horse for 2026 symbolizes energy and freedom and forward momentum, according to usatoday.com. Horses are also tied to strength and grace and determination, momentum, which all of this really ties into this new lunar cycle. So the year of the fire horse, it only comes every 60 years. The last one was in 1966. So now that it is back, everybody is talking about it because genuinely, this is the time of your life to stop playing small and take action. So last year you learned your lessons, you had to shed your skin, you quietly maybe had to outgrow people and mindsets and habits, lessons, maybe even versions of yourself that you thought would be with you forever. But now that you have learned those lessons, you are taking all of that in and you are just going forward this year. In today's episode, I really want to talk all about how to channel your year of the horse energy, how to start building, how to start increasing your execution, how to stop chasing the hype, and finally just go all in to the version of yourself that you've slowly been becoming, because you did all of the other work it is that you had to do. So now it's finally time to just stop preparing, stop planning, and start running. So if you want to learn more about that, then keep listening. As you know, before we get into the bulk of the episode, I did introduce a brand new segment last episode called the Booked, Busy, and Building Check-In, where I ask you 3 questions and I also answer them myself to give you guys a little bit of insight on how we are staying booked, busy, and building. And it's really just to talk about how everyone posts the highlight reels, everyone talks about the success and the highs, but nobody really talks about how we can pull behind the curtain and see what is the real work it is that we are all doing. And if you see me looking at my computer in this episode, if you're watching on YouTube, I am just referring to all of the notes that I wrote because I feel like this episode is going to be really great. But the 3 questions are: what opportunities are you stepping into this week and how are you staying booked? Number 2 is, what is taking up your time and your energy right now, and what is keeping you busy? And number 3, the last one, what are you intentionally working towards for your future self and building? And again, you can hold off to answer these questions until the end of the episode, or you can take some time to fill them out right now in your journal or in your notes app, however it is that you want to do it. I'm also going to be sending out a weekly newsletter with every episode on the podcast once it goes live that has a little bit more questions and some more homework for you guys. But to answer these questions, the opportunities I am stepping into this week is shooting my shot for something that I've actually never done before. And I sent about 43 emails yesterday for this thing, which sounds really crazy, but I am crazy. I'm a stalker. I will find your email and I will message you, and I will not stop until I try to make my dreams and my goals happen. But I really sent out over 40 emails yesterday according to my email tracker, and it is for something that I don't want to give too many details on, but I spent all night Sunday making this pitch deck, and then on Monday I just sent it out all day, and I reached out to this person's team and the head of the company and all these different people because I'm really trying to put myself out there. So fingers crossed this will happen. It is supposed to be for the spring, so keep your eyes peeled. The next thing is something keeping me busy right now is working on myself and my fitness journey. So I have really started to really fall back in love with the gym and my relationship with the gym. But after not going for a week, I finally went today, and I'm so happy because I have really been missing it. And when I don't go, I start to notice that I do miss it and I do want to go back. So that is something that I am really happy about. And I also listened to Emma Grade's newest podcast episode while I was walking the treadmill. So that also was just a great little boost of inspiration. And lastly, something that I am intentionally working towards for my future self this week is educating myself more on people in the media and the content industry, the media world more specifically, because I feel like I am pretty well versed in the content creator world and what is going on in creator economy, but I really want to get to know more people in the media space. For example, Reese Witherspoon has a media company called Hello Sunshine. I really just want to learn more about these people that are in that world, how they got to where they are today, and just really learn their stories, because to me that's always been so interesting. Like, I have always loved the How I Built This podcast because it really talks about how people built themselves up, how they got from point A to point B, and I am so curious when it comes to all those kinds of things. So those are just some little things about me and how I am really going all in on staying booked, busy, and building. So if you guys want to learn more about Chinese Lunar New Year, let's dive in. So tip number 1 is this is not the year of preparation. This is the year of motion. So now that you have the whole background on the year of the horse and the Chinese New Year and all of these different things, you need to know even more. And I really, really want to hone this in, like really get it into you guys, that this is not the year of preparation. It is the year of motion, and you genuinely just have to go after your thing. And I don't know how many times I can keep saying this in my episodes, but guys, like, there is no need to look for another sign. There is no need to want to try to find a million more reasons why you should just go after the thing it is that you want to do. And instead, you genuinely just need to do it. Like, if you keep looking for a sign or for another reason, or you keep waiting for another opportunity, or you just keep waiting, then you are never going to know where you can be. And even more with like the content creation world, or with being an entrepreneur, or whatever space it is that you are in, the longer you wait to go after the thing it is that you want, the longer you are delaying a possible opportunity or something really cool that can happen to you, or some kind of learning experience. And a lot of people bring this in and they tie it in with failure. People look at failure as something that they don't want to do. They're scared, they're afraid, they're embarrassed. They don't want it to look like, wow, this thing didn't work out. When in reality, you should want to fail, and fail fast, because the sooner you can learn the lessons it is that you are meant to learn, the sooner you can keep going forward and figure out like, okay, I learned this lesson. Now I can just move into the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And then using that knowledge to literally just build yourself higher and higher. When I was first posting on social media, my videos were horrible and I cringe when I look back at them, but that girl who's posting those videos and learning those things is the girl that made me into who I am today. Because now that I learned how to do XYZ, it taught me how to level up from those things. Like, my first videos were not that good. I learned how to edit better. My first brand deals weren't that good. I learned how to create content better. Like, everything is a learning lesson. Stop over researching, stop over planning, and literally just take imperfect action, because nobody is perfect, but you just have to go all in on that thing. And the faster you do it, the The faster you fail, the faster you can learn lessons, and that is going to build your confidence to go even further on the thing it is that you want to do. It doesn't matter what it is, but you need to fail, and you got to fail fast. But you have to get rid of this idea that it needs to be perfect or that you're embarrassed if it doesn't work out, because you need to learn those lessons in order to move forward. So this is your reminder that consistency and all of your other lessons, all of the things that were required to make you into who you are today, that was all already done in 2025. Like, now it is time to start that visible expansion. Go out and do your thing, because you don't need another lesson. You don't need another waiting period or another waiting phase. You just have to do your thing, and it starts now. Tip number 2 is go all in on one thing. So I personally love this tip because I feel like so many of us are focused on a million different topics, a million different hobbies, and a million things it is that we want to do. And I always see memes about this, specifically on TikTok, where a lot of people are like, another hobby that they are investing a bunch of money into, and then it just goes into a drawer, and then they kind of forget about it. Or they pick up another thing, and then after a few months or even a few weeks, like, it kind of just goes on to the side. And I feel like I struggled a lot with that when it came to my content creation and all the things it is that I was building. Like, in the beginning, I wanted to just try a million different things, and I wanted to see what would work. And it wasn't until I got really specific about like where I wanted my content creation journey to go, because the thing is, at the end of the day, social media is a business. So if you are not taking it seriously and you are kind of all over the place, then it's going to reflect in what you are putting out there and what you are doing. So with me, now that I have gotten a little bit better in figuring out like my content, I kind of have my route down pat. It's like all the other things in my life are now kind of all over the place, because I'm like, how can I balance working out and the health area of my life? And how can I balance my career and social media and personal endeavors and my business and my family, relationships, friendships? Like, it truly feels like a never ending list of how can I balance all of these things. But if there is that one thing that you constantly have on your heart and on your mind that you love and you genuinely cannot stop thinking about it, then this is what you need to make your thing. That is why this tip is called go all in on one thing. Horses do not trot in 5 different directions. Pick the platform, pick the business idea, pick the fitness goal, whatever it is, and just go all in on that one thing. Stop dividing your energy and your attention across a million different things, because that's the problem. Is like, as soon as your energy is going into all these different directions, you're going to get burnt out, you're going to get drained, and it's almost like you kind of lose your identity. Like, you don't really know who you are because you're pouring into a million different cups, when it's like you need to just be focusing on that one thing that fulfills you and go all in on that one thing. I knew I love social media and I love creating content, and eventually I want to use my platform to help me get my business out there, and that's exactly what I did. But I knew I have to focus on social media and learning to be a content creator, getting used to filming and posting every single day, getting a video out there, getting used to making my life content. Like, that was something that was not second nature to me. Like, I had to learn how to do all of these things, and eventually I got more natural with it, and it became a lot more fun. And like I said, it felt more natural, but I stopped dividing my energy across a million different things. And even with my business, for example, I knew at the end of 2025 that I wanted to use 2026 to double down on Valdez Agency and focus on my podcast growth and my newsletter and etc. and figure out, how can I make everything work all together and be a team and an ecosystem, instead of feeling like I am working on a million different things all at once? Because for the past few years, it has always felt like that with all of my endeavors and my content creation. And I always felt like I'm a woman that wears so many hats, but instead I want all of these different hats to kind of fit under one bucket. And so I knew at the end of 2025, that is what I want my 2026 to be about. So figure that out with yourself. Like, what is the one thing that you can go all in on and not divide your attention and your energy into a million different things that are probably not even working? Tip number 3 is build stamina, not hype. When you think of a horse or you see some kind of race, you are not thinking, oh, this horse or this person is going to win this race because they're very excited, they want to get to the finish line. Like, they do it because of endurance and how they have held up. So stay with me here. But the same thing can be applied with people that run marathons. They or anyone that does any kind of sport or something that is of high intensity. If you exert all of your energy in the beginning, you are going to be extremely tired and very burnt out and basically out of breath by the time you get to the end of this thing. And when I used to run track in high school, I remember the coach would tell us to not give it our all in the beginning of a race or in the beginning of practice, because by the end of it, we were going to be tired and we were going to be exerted of our energy. And instead, she said, wait until the end to give one big push, because if you do this big push in the beginning, you're going to barely make it to the finish line. And so tying this back to the lunar year, a horse wins races because of endurance, not because, oh my God, I'm so excited, I got to get to the finish line. Like, you can also do the same thing with yourself. Do not exert all of this energy and all these different things straight in the beginning with whatever it is that you are doing. Try to balance it out so that you are not someone that, again, like in the beginning of the day, you get a million different things done, and then by midday you have a crash. Like, I know we all probably have faced so many of those moments, but it is true. Like, try not to exert all of these different things into a million things in the beginning, because instead, like, you need to be focusing on building that stamina, building that endurance. So instead of looking for motivation, try to build structure. Instead of looking towards all of these different things, like I need an answer, focus on what do you need right now? What is the thing that can help you right now? Success is also, I feel like, all about emotional regularity. Like, how are you holding up during whatever it is that you are doing? Whatever journey it is that you are along, how are you holding up? Because if you are too focused on all of the outside noise and the hype and the motivation or just the noise around you in general, then how do you expect yourself to grow? And this reminds me of actually something that I heard today while I was listening to the Aspire podcast. I was on the treadmill, I was listening to it, and it was specifically the episode with Lainey Crowell, who is the founder of Say, which is a clean beauty brand at Sephora. And I was listening to this episode, and something she said is that a lot of beauty founders are told to not go to Sephora because there is so much going on. It's kind of like overstimulation city in there. Like, there is just brands here, brands in the beginning, a sale over here, brands on the top shelf, this, that. Like, there is a lot. And she said the reason why a lot of founders are encouraged to kind of like not go there is because then you get too focused on the outside noise and what other brands are doing, and then things can start to get in your head, and then you think like, maybe I need to be doing this, or I got to be focusing on that, when it's like, no, like, stay in your own lane, focus on your thing. Like I said in the previous tip, go all in on your one thing and just focus on that. And this takes me back to the whole like emotional regularity thing, because it's like, you need to stay focused on what it is that you are doing and not trying to keep up with everybody else. As soon as you do that, as soon as you try to keep up with the race of what everyone else is doing, then you are going to lose sight of yourself and your journey and your goals and what it is that you are headed towards. Because again, if you keep focusing on this person is doing that, or they released a product, or this person launched a business, or they post this many times a day and I'm not even doing that, like, it doesn't matter, because you're on your own journey, you're doing your own thing. If you're too focused on what other people are doing, you are going to lose sight of what it is that you want, and that is not what you want. Before we get into the next tip, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, and that is Valdez Agency. If you're new here, Valdez Agency is the media company that I founded to help ambitious creators, students, and young professionals actually get access to opportunities and real conversations about building something meaningful and going after your dream life. If you're a creator and you want brand deals, education, and a community that wants to see you win, then Valdez Agency is the place for you, and it is absolutely free to sign up and join. To apply and be in our creator community, all you have to do is visit thevaldezagency.com. You can also rate our podcast, Booked, Busy, and Building, after you're done listening, or even right now, if you enjoy the episodes either on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Booked, Busy, and Building Podcast, which posts the full episodes. Make sure you're also signed up for our weekly newsletter, Spill the Success, which has all kinds of resources and new drops towards mindset, career, creator economy, business, and more. And lastly, follow Valdez Agency on Instagram so you never miss anything that is going on, including our book club that is hosted virtually on Fable, where we read books monthly on self-development, mindset, and more, plus our newly launched broadcast channel, which is solely on our Instagram. Reminder again that all of this is free and everything is linked in the show notes, because trust me, we are building something big with Valdez Agency and we would love for you to be a part of it. So let's get back into the episode. Tip number 4 is move with power, not desperation. So I love this tip because when I say desperation, I mean you need to start moving with intention and not trying to prove other people wrong, not taking action on certain things because this person is over here and I got to move this way. Like if you are not ready to level up or to move in this certain area of your life, then don't rush it. I feel like a perfect example of that is with moving out. Like a lot of people think that after graduation, you have to have the job set up. You have to have the perfect apartment in the high-rise building, or you have to be going on the lavish vacations and this, that. And it's like, that is not the reality for a lot of people. I was able to move out as a post-grad because I kind of had this plan built up ahead of time, and I was really like strategic and particular about where I wanted to move and how much the rent was in the space. And I was like, I am not compromising on that. So it's like, I kind of built my way up to get to that. It didn't just happen overnight. It literally was like 2 years plus of preparation. But this can be applied with anything else in your life. Like, don't do something just because other people are doing it or just because this person is on this timeline and you want to be on that timeline. Like if you are not ready, then you are simply not ready. So move with power, move with intention. Don't just do things because other people are doing it or because you want to prove other people wrong. Like if you are not ready, then you are not ready. And I specifically have known people that have tried 1,000,001 different things. They do it for a week or two, and then as soon as it's not working, as soon as it's not making them money, or as soon as it is not worth their time, they move on and they try to do the next thing. I knew that with creating content and starting a business or working with brands and going to events, like I knew all of these different things was going to take time, but I knew that I wanted to be in it for the long run and I wanted to be in it for the long game. If you are doing something because you want it to happen quick or you want that instant success, that immediate gratification, that is not how things work, unfortunately. So it's like you need to decide, who is the person that I want to be in a few years? What does their life look like? What do they do? And how can I start showing up as that person today? And you have to know, whatever that dream or goal is, there is going to be a long journey attached with that a lot of people don't talk about, that a lot of people don't really mention or don't go into the nitty-gritty of, because a lot of people care about the end goal. People want to see the end result. They want to see the success and the mansion and the big bank account and the sold out brand or the interviews and the book deal. Like people want to see the end, but no one wants to stick through the mud and see what it took to get there. So stop chasing validation and all of these things that don't really matter to you and start moving with alignment, not ego and not for materialistic things. Like that's the worst thing that you could do, because as soon as you get that item or that thing it is that you wanted, or if you just keep chasing that dream or that goal and like you're not focused on the journey, once you get that thing and once it happens, you're going to be like, wait, like this was it? Like this was all of the hype that was built around it? Was it even worth it? Like all the things that I went through. So focus on your journey, because at the end of the day, your power and what you are working towards is all that matters. And that quiet work that you were doing, the early days, the late nights, like all of these things that you were doing in quiet, one day it will be known and you will be able to reap those rewards of that. But you have to know you just have to push a little bit longer and keep going, because it's not going to happen right now. But no right now does not mean no later. Last but not least, tip number 5 is the energy of bold decisions. So horses, if you guys look this up, they are very symbolic with freedom and courage and obviously forward motion. They're going fast, they're going in their one direction. So I want this last tip to really be a reminder to make one scary or kind of uncomfortable move this quarter. As you guys know, in our Booked, Busy, and Building check-in that I did in the beginning of the episode, I mentioned that I put myself out there. I shot my shot at something that is very new to me that I have never done before, but that I really want to do. And I just did it. I just put myself out there and I was like, let's see what could happen. Let's just try. And so with the year of the horse, I really want you guys to do the same thing. Like, put yourself out there, make one scary move that sounds scary to you, but it's probably not even that scary when you think about it. Like, what is the worst that could happen? You have nothing to lose. You have everything to gain, whether it is raising your rates as a content creator or raising your prices as a business if you need to, applying for the job, applying for the opportunity, whatever it is, even if it's launching a business before you finally feel ready. In last week's episode, we talked about how to raise your hand before you're ready. And I still and will always stand by this. Like, you don't need more signs or motivation or quotes or another Instagram reel with some sappy music in the background. Like, you don't need any of that. You should have started yesterday. So you need to just go all in and forget about everything, because I saw a TikTok today that literally said 6 months of hard work can put you 5 years ahead of everybody else. And I don't know how true that is, but you know what? I'm going to run with that because I love that. Like, months of just head down hard work and doing your thing and having that hardcore just sole focus on your dreams or your goals truly can put you so far ahead. Because again, people want that instant validation. People want things to happen really quickly. But if you just know that one day it will come and it doesn't matter how or when, then you are going to get there faster, because you already know, like, I'm not worried about my dream happening tomorrow or next week or next month. It's going to happen whenever it's meant to happen. And with this year being so symbolic and all about opportunities and growth and just charging forward, I really want to just hone in this reminder for you that, like, you can do the same thing. And it's okay if you don't feel ready, because none of us ever feel ready. That feeling is never going to come, but this is the year and this is the time to do it. The new year for the Chinese New Year started yesterday, February 17th. Today is February 18th. I want to see you guys in a year and see what exactly has happened and how you made your dreams and your goals come true. So keep this episode as your reminder. Keep listening to it again and again whenever you need it, because I promise, like, whatever it is that we desire and want, it can happen. We just have to let go of the how and the when, or what are the steps I need to make this happen. You just have to put one foot in front of the other, and I promise it will all come true. So let's have an amazing rest of the year, and I really, really hope that whatever is on your heart and mind will happen, because trust me, I believe it will, and I'm here cheering you on from the side. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.